Lux your way with the Lux Cravings boxes from Taco Bell. There's the classic $5 box, the indulgent $7 box, and a whole new obsession in the $9 box, the flaming hot grilled cheese burrito. Try the Lux Cravings boxes at Taco Bell today.
As sports fans, we may cheer for different teams, but there's one thing that we can all agree on. We want the game to be big. And with 3 levels, 30 cabanas, a 143-foot screen, 6 clean pools, and endless cold drinks, it doesn't get any bigger or any better than Stadium Swim in Las Vegas. All sports, all seasons. It's more than a pool deck. Stadium Swim. It's the only thing like it in the world.
Check out the all-new Blue and Orange store at the Boise State Hall of Fame. The Blue and Orange store has your best game day gear. We're talking jerseys, hats, bumper stickers, car flags, more than 4,000 hats on the hat wall. If you want the best Boise State gear, make sure you check out the Blue and Orange store online at theblueandorangestore.com or the all-new Blue and Orange store down at the Boise State Allen Noble Hall of Fame.
Sunny days call for Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea. Made with real iced tea and real vodka. Refreshing and goes down smooth. Let the good times cruise with Sun Cruiser.
How's your day going?
Going good. Thank you. Yes.
When I want Boise State to win, I trust Coach Rice to lead the Broncos to victory.
And when I want the best painting and garage floor coating, I trust rowpaint.com to get that job done right.
You could win one of 2 trips to see Banana Ball live. Purchase 2 Body Armor products, use Let's Go rewards, and you're entered to win. Right now, Body Armor is buy one, get one for $1 with Let's Go rewards. Start getting those entries in. Let's go.
Around here, toughness isn't talked about. It's lived.
Matt Wagner with the one-handed catch down.
Early mornings, late nights.
Going forward with Ford.
Work that doesn't make the highlight reel.
Same mindset, different uniform.
This is the blue-collar grit, earned, not given.
Tough days don't stop us. They build us.
McMillan shoots and scores.
For the workers who don't back down, Ford doesn't either.
Shannon fires.
Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Bronco Nation News Live is the only daily show that talks nothing but Boise State sports. And we do it with you. Give us your comments or questions in the ICCU YouTube chat. Or leave us a voicemail on the Signature Roofing voice inbox at speakpipe.com/BNN. BNN broadcasts come from the Sun Cruiser Studios. Sunny days call for Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea, made with real iced tea and real vodka. It's refreshingly smooth and easy to drink. Crack open a Sun Cruiser and let the good times cruise. Bronco Nation News is presented by our title sponsor, Lithia Ford of Boise, and our major sponsors, Taco Bell, Idaho Central Credit Union, rowpaint.com, and the Blue and Orange store. At Lithia Ford of Boise, we're proud to stand with Boise State athletics. Through our NIL marketing partnerships, we're investing in the future of student athletes. Lithia Ford of Boise, here to get you there, wherever that may be. Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho. Broadcasting from the Sun Cruiser Studios, here's BJ Rains with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
Terrius Favors laying the big hit at the beginning of practice today. And it was that kind of day at practice. They're out there on the blue, still practicing as we speak. Hope you can hear me okay. Let me know as usual if it sounds okay, looks okay. My name is BJ Rains. Today is the first day of the NFL draft. Sporting the hat today. We're going to hear from Braxton Feeley. We are also going to hear from Tim Duryea here momentarily, the assistant coach for the Boise State men's basketball team. They've got 3 new portal additions. So we're outside Boise State. They are inside practicing right now, and decided to come out and do the show for you guys. So we are on the Wi-Fi hotspot, the mobile setup here, which sometimes works, sometimes it doesn't. So hope it's going okay. Appreciate you guys for watching and supporting here on Bronco Nation News and BroncoNationNews.com. We've actually got our delivery of Sun Cruisers coming, by the way. Claire from Sun Cruiser is meeting me here to drop off some beverages, so maybe we can even get her to make a quick appearance on the show today. We are in the mobile Sun Cruiser studios. Again, Sun Cruiser, whether it's a blueberry lemonade, strawberry lemonade, the half and halves, the vodka iced teas, so many different flavors from our friends at Sun Cruiser. Hope you pick one up today. And as always, Lithia Ford of Boise, our title sponsor. Lithia Ford of Boise, check them out online at lithiafordboise.com, and it's a perfect time for a newer pre-owned vehicle from our friends at Lithia Ford of Boise. Can somebody give me a thumbs up or a positive comment in the chat there if things are working okay, because would love to make sure you guys can hear me okay and see me okay, and I think we're good. It sounds good. There's a campus tour going on behind us. We are right outside the football stadium and getting set for Tim Duryea to join us and talk some football. We're going to talk some basketball. As I said, with Tim Duryea, Braxton Feeley is going to join us as well. So a lot going on today, and appreciate you guys starting your day with us. Today is day 1 of the NFL draft, and of course that means a lot of different things when it comes to Boise State. Last year I was in Green Bay. You want to come on the show, Claire? Bring the Sun Cruisers over here. We got Claire from Sun Cruiser. I made I was telling everybody that we have the where are we at here? There's Claire. Here we go.
Drink Sun Cruisers. They're the best.
There you go.
Go Broncos.
There you go. Appreciate it. We got the lemonade. That's my got my flavors there. Appreciate it. Thank you, Claire, for bringing it by. We set this up weeks ago for her to be here at this time on the show and make it happen. But yeah, looking forward to going home and having some of those Sun Cruisers at some point, I'll tell you that. But appreciate her for bringing those by. And yeah, I was in Green Bay, as I was saying, for the NFL draft last year, and it was an unbelievable experience seeing Ashton Genty and being there for that, and having a different perspective now, being in the room and in the building and seeing what that was like. That was pretty cool to be there for the NFL draft last year, and BNN was there and had the coverage, and now kind of seeing it from afar and having that perspective on what it was like certainly was a situation where, it's cool. And now kind of when I see what happens, thank you. Appreciate it, Claire. Sun Cruiser, get out there and get some, folks. In terms of watching tonight, I'm going to kind of know what I saw, what to expect. And not tonight, though. Nobody, unfortunately, from Boise State's going to go tonight. Can Cage Casey go tomorrow? That's the big question. Certainly we'll see. Not feeling super great about it. You're probably thinking early day 3 for Cage Casey. But, hey, Claire, would you mind pushing up the back of the – thank you. Probably day 3, though. You're probably looking at Saturday for Cage Casey. And I hope I'm wrong. And we'll see. Cage Casey has done a lot of a lot of great things and put up some decent numbers and had some a lot of buzz, but is he a 3rd round pick or is he 4th or 5th? I hope I'm wrong, but tomorrow morning or next couple of days, we're probably going to still be seeing, well, I know tomorrow morning we will, but certainly Saturday. I hope I'm wrong, but I hope Cage Casey is gone and off the draft board at that point. We are going to hear from Braxton Feeley, and I'm trying to decide if I should play. I taped the interview with Braxton Feeley earlier. I'm trying to see if I should play it now or if Tim Duryea is going to join us. If you have a thought or a question, basketball related on the portal, football related, let us know. We can get to that here. We'll just we'll keep this thing going. But intensity was super high at practice today. I'll play the video clip again of Terrius Favors. Boise State. In full pads again today. You got the spring game on Saturday. Typically the last practice before the spring game is not some full padded practice, but Boise State getting after it out there today. And I've got like 3 minutes of clips that I'll put on the YouTube channel and things later today. But how about Terrius Favors lowering the shoulder? I posted another one where the linebacker Manu jumped over a guy, had his best Ashton Genty impression. So we've been saying it all camp. I know you guys are probably tired of hearing it, but it really is kind of the storyline around camp is the fact that, they're going live more. They're going more tackling, more intense. Yet again today, 2 days from the spring game, they were in full pads today out there and tackling drills, and had the two different, units going with full, Sire Gaines is out there getting tackled. Like, you're cringing when you see Sire Gaines go down. Like, it's a full live. Everybody's live out there. Actually, I don't know if the quarterbacks are live, but everybody's pretty much live out there. It's tackle football, and it's been happening for a lot of almost every day in camp. It's been pretty interesting, I guess, because they needed to get better at tackling. That was certainly a goal of theirs, and it certainly looks like that's been the case. And so I see Tim Duryea walking over now, so appreciate him for coming over. If you got a question for Tim Duryea, again, 3 additions in the portal, and looking forward to having Tim come over here in a minute, and we'll bring him on and get his thoughts on everything basketball related. But if you have a question for Tim Duryea, if you have a thought for Tim Duryea, let us know, and we'll get to those momentarily with Tim as he is making his way over. But basketball portal news, 3 guys in the fold, and Tim's going to join us here in just a second. While he's getting set up, do want to thank Lithia Ford of Boise, online at lithiafordboise.com. Lithia Ford Boise, our title sponsor here at BNN, and if you're looking for a new or pre-owned vehicle, Lithia Ford of Boise is who you need to reach out to. Lithia Ford of Boise. I mentioned Sun Cruiser. We appreciate Claire for bringing those by. Sun Cruiser, real iced tea, real vodka. We appreciate Sun Cruiser for their support of Bronco Nation News and Idaho Central Credit Union, ICCU.com. We got, you see Pearson Carmichael on the screen there, one of the guys we can ask Tim about now that Pearson's back in the fold, and Idaho Central Credit Union, online, ICCU.com. There's a branch pretty much on every corner, but the easiest, that mobile e-branch online banking right there in your smartphone, Idaho Central Credit Union. All right, Tim, we got to make sure we can get you in the shot.
There we
back
go.
up a little bit. There we go.
Right.
Tim Duryea, assistant coach. How we doing?
Doing good. We're portaling. We're in our 6th week of managing the portals.
Yeah,
so.
well, I appreciate you taking a 10-minute break to get some fresh air and come out and chat with us. 3 additions already. We'll get to those. What is kind of the update? I mean, everybody knows the portal is closed, but there's still a ton of guys out there that you can add. What's kind of the update on kind of where things stand right now?
It's been interesting. The portal, the timing of the portal has changed every year in terms of when it opens, how long it's open for. And so this has been kind of unique to watch. The first week it opened, it was kind of a huge first wave of a run of signing players. And then now we're kind of into that second wave now that the portal has closed. So at least there's closure in terms of, okay, these are your returners on your roster. We know who's leaving. We know who's staying. And then, you go from there and just kind of add slowly but surely and one piece at a time, and try not to get in a hurry. And yet there's a fine balance between don't be in a hurry, but don't be too late. So it's kind of a case-by-case basis. And we're always looking for our kind of guys that fit, what we need and position-wise and culture-wise, and all those things kind of go into it.
Now, we've seen, kind of by evidence of the 3 you've added, what the strategy kind of is. But when that season ended, I mean, in the post-game press conference, and everyone's kind of making a big deal. We heard Leon use the phrase, got to have some dogs, I mean, that's the big thing. But what was kind of the strategy? And I guess at that point, maybe you didn't know you were losing, a couple of guys as well in the portal. But what is the kind of big picture off-season strategy in terms of what you guys are trying to do?
Well, I think the number one thing is on the perimeter to be more athletic, to be more versatile, to have a few more guys that are a little more creative with the ball in their hands. And I think we've done that, starting with Damari and kind of gotten more athletic in terms of him. And then obviously Julian Bowie coming back and coming off red shirt and looking forward to another jump from Peanut Carmichael. Bun gives us that type of element. So really just trying to increase our playmaking ability on the perimeter was probably the number one thing. And then in addition to that, get a little more athletic defensively where we can extend, cause a few more turnovers, create a little offense off of our defense more than we did this past year. And then once the portal hit, and we found out that we were losing Drew. Now you got to go to the interior and find, some guys that can help you on both sides of the floor. And obviously with him, you lose perimeter shooting, and you also lose a guy that can score with his back to the basket. So we had to address that as well.
So 2 questions. 1, 3 of the 4 perimeter guys you mentioned were already on the team. So is that something you're still looking at? Another guy you're talking about out there on the perimeter?
Yeah. Still looking to add a perimeter player. Still looking to add a big. So we have a couple spots that are still unresolved, and we're surfing through things one at a time, and bringing guys in for visits and talking to agents and doing Zoom calls and all the things we've been doing. We're still at it, and there's no end. You don't know when it's going to end. It could end this week. It could take 2 more weeks. You don't know. You just got to kind of figure it out week by week, day by day.
So it's a perimeter player and a big, 2 guys. It sounds like it's kind of what you're focused on. And maybe this is an unfair question. I'll ask it anyway. You don't have to, answer it if you don't want to. But are we talking? Is the starting 5 on the roster right now? Are these complimentary guys? Are you still out trying to get that quote unquote star or starter, or just for fans that have expectations? What can you say about the level of player you're still out there searching for?
Yeah, I think everybody we recruit with the idea of them being a starter. Obviously it doesn't turn out that way, but we're still looking for starters, in the front court and the back court. Nothing's set in stone, and that's kind of the way we look at it. And I don't think you ever recruit a guy thinking, okay, he's a career backup. That may be his role to start with, but those things change as the summer goes, and you go through the fall, and you never know kind of what's going to happen. But yeah, we're still looking for 2 impact players.
I think that's exciting for fans to hear. A lot of questions. We got a Mariners question. We'll skip past that. What else we got here?
I can answer the Mariners question. The Royals are going to
win. We're on a roll, somebody said there. Let's see. With the new guys coming in, what type of offensive changes do you anticipate needing to be made? A lot made of the offense last year. You kind of had a rough patch in the middle there, Tim, and then you figured some things out and changed some things. What's the offense looking like, and is that at all related to guys you're looking for, or do you change based on who you get? Are we going to see the same offense next year? What can you say about that?
I think it always changes on considering your personnel, and we were kind of on an offensive uptick all throughout the last half of the year. We finished the conference going 11-3 the last 14 conference games, and it felt like every game, every week, we were getting a little better offensively on that side of the ball, and had kind of settled in some roles, and guys had really gotten comfortable playing. And so, like I mentioned at the beginning, I think the first thing is we've got to be more dynamic off the bounce. And if we accomplish that goal, then, I think that opens up a lot of things. I think we have good perimeter shooting on the team, and I think we're adding that with Damari. From North Dakota State, he's a very good shooter. Obviously, Julian Bowie's a very good shooter. I think Peanut will continue to shoot the ball better. But if we can make more plays off the bounce and be a little less predictable, station to station, and not depend so much on our low post game, I think that will help us a lot offensively. And with our bigs, we've tried to recruit bigs that at least a couple of them are threats from 3. I think that makes your offense a lot harder to guard when you have at least one big on the floor, or one center, so to speak, that can really shoot the ball. And that Drew gave us that element, and we're trying to replace that in the portal.
Tim Duryea, our guest for a little bit longer here, Bronco Nation News, talking about the portal. It's now closed, but obviously, as you heard, Boise State's still looking at a couple more guys. All right, the 3 newcomers. Let's touch on each of those guys if we can. You mentioned Damari a couple times. You get him really early, but before the portal's technically even open. He was a grad transfer, so obviously he was available. Yep. What's the thought process there? So, fans, a lot of people don't know how this works. They say, why rush into something like that? Why wait and see the 2,000 players that are out there? You guys obviously identified and liked a lot. We had him on the show, very well-spoken, nice young man. What is his ceiling? A one-year guy, what's his impact going to be this year?
Well, we liked Damari from the get-go for a lot of things, and a lot of them were not even on the basketball court. He is a really proven big-time leader, and, we needed some leadership, and he provides that. He provides proven production against high-level teams. Comes from a winning program. So when we looked at all the boxes that we needed to fill in that point guard position, he basically checked all of them right off the bat. And so we felt like, why wait? here's an older guy that is proven that we can plug and play, and is a good perimeter shooter, makes plays for others, dynamic with the ball in his hands, really good defender. I mean, there was really nothing not to like about him. And so we went ahead and did that.
And as he told me on the show, and I said, this is kind of all you need to know, fans, after you guys, he was going to go visit San Diego State. Like, I mean, if that's the kind of athlete you guys are getting, and I mean, I think fans should be certainly happy that a team like that was also interested in him.
Yeah, any program in the country would like to have Damari in their program. He is a stud.
Okay, stand back. The big guy, you guys get the SWAC Defensive Player of the Year. He was out for a visit. Tell us about what intrigued you about him, how you see his game translating to the Pac-12.
Yeah, Jaquarius Standback, Alabama State Defensive Player of the Year in that league, and that's just what he is. He is a defensive playmaker, and probably for people that were familiar with the Mountain West last year, the kid that played at UNLV, the long 6'9" kid that really wreaked havoc all over the floor defensively. JQ's got some of those tendencies, some of those abilities, come over and block a shot, get out in a passing lane, active on the offensive glass, a lot of upside offensively, but a proven defensive playmaker.
Before we get to the JUCO kid, someone's asking here about how crazy are the dollars amount players are asking for. It seems like guys with very little proven production are asking for a ton. How overinflated is the market? What would you say just to people who see, they're getting them from the SWAC because they're saving money on them, or this is the lower level guy? I mean, what is the money situation like out there right now?
Well, it's crazy. It's beyond people's wildest dreams is all I can say. And, we look at a kid's character, his characteristics as a basketball player, as a person, how he's going to add to our culture. And then obviously there is a financial piece to all these things. And, if we find things that work in terms of what we're looking for and they have to fit within our budget, like every program, like every business, like every household, you have a budget and you got to stay in that budget. And, that's what we're doing, but we're not necessarily just recruiting this type of player or that type of player based on cost. We're looking for a player that fits us. And then, we're trying to handle the financial piece as best we can. But there's guys making a ton of money from coming up from the NAIA level, the D2 level, the low major level. It doesn't matter where you're coming from. It matters what you can provide and the production you have provided in the past. And the numbers are beyond what anybody can imagine. If you look back 4 years ago, kind of when this crazy stuff started happening to now, it's beyond belief.
And you don't have to get into specifics, but I know like a Drew Fielder, I mean, sometimes you got to just tip your cap and say good luck to you, right? I mean, my understanding was he may have got up to 3 times what you guys were able to possibly pay him. And I mean, I know the system sucks, but at some point, if that's going to happen, you would have loved to have him back, but you got to just say we can't give you our entire budget. Go do your thing there.
Absolutely. The one thing I think we've all learned in this process in the portal stuff and the transfer era is to not take things personal. And when a kid can leave and make life-changing money. I mean, we're not talking about leaving for, nickels and dimes. We're talking about if you can change your program or go to a different program and it's literally life-changing money. It's hard not to wish a kid good luck and hope for the best. I mean, nobody wanted to lose Drew, and us, we sure didn't want to lose Drew, but because I think Drew was just kind of finding his footing as a basketball player and in our program was going to have a monster year. But like you said, I think anybody in their job, if somebody's going to offer you 3 times as much as you're making now, it would be really hard to say no.
And I know, Cody and the administration, like they did what they could in terms of upping the budget this year, and maybe as much as $1 million or something in terms of more money for the portal. But with the inflation and everything else, I think maybe is there a misconception that you have an extra? All that money's not extra because the prices went up exponentially for guys to begin with.
Yeah, our administration's done a great job with our budget, and our budget has increased, but nobody's budget can increase at the same rate as prices for players are going up. It's probably something that's not sustainable in the long term, but it's what we're having to deal with right now. And until there's some guidelines put in place and some guardrails and some things that limit movement a little bit, we have to deal with what we have to deal with. And right now it's wild out there.
Sky says a top fan gripe from last season was watching the point guards dribble around top of the key until 12 seconds left on the shot clock. How do you get the kids going sooner, attack with more urgency in this coming season? And is that a goal?
Yeah, we always want to play, with as much tempo as we can and as much pace as we can, but we have to do it efficiently. And I think, some of the times, some of our possessions last year, a lot of them ended up in the last 10 or 12 seconds of the shot clock. But in the 30-second shot clock era, when you're playing, especially league games and teams that really know you, you're going to get down in the last 10 seconds of the shot clock. And that's not where we want to live, but we take a lot of pride in we're good in the last 10 seconds of the shot clock. We're productive in those areas. And I think the more dynamic we get and the more playmakers we get on the perimeter, I think the less that tends to happen.
Tim Duryea, our guest, and this might be another dumb question, but when you guys did lose Drew, I said, hey, he was making X amount here last year. He goes and turns that into what? Next, whatever. Is that at all? I know you guys want to get guys for 4 years, keep them and all this stuff, but showing what a guy like that could do in your program and what that means financially, whether it's pros or at another school, whatever, is that at all something you guys can sell when you're trying to get players, the development that you can do, but also what it can do for them in their future?
It's a huge selling point with transfers and the kids we talk to. We don't point to Drew as a negative. We show Drew as a positive, and not only Drew, but when you look back, Emmanuel Acott, Marcus Shaver, Abu Kijab, Alvaro Cardenas, you can go on and on and on about the success that transfers have had in our program and how their numbers have increased, their playing time has increased, and their opportunities, beyond our program have increased because of what they've done here. I think we've done a really good job of that. And we sell that, to kids coming in. It's like, hey, you don't have to believe what we're saying, but look at the past, and we show them our track record. And it's as good as anybody in the country in terms of transfer improvement in their statistics, transfer playing time. And, we use that as, hey, we're recruiting you because we have a plan for you. We're not just recruiting 12 or 13 players with no plan at all, and we'll throw you out there and see what happens. We have a specific plan, a specific spot, a specific job for you, and we've pinpointed you that you're the guy we want to come do that job. And here's what has happened to kids before that we've pinpointed and the success they've had. So that's a huge selling point for us.
Tell us about the JUCO kid.
Yeah, Jakani Jiang. He's a kid from North Dakota State College of Science, which has had a long tradition. He's a big-bodied, long-armed kid. He's about 6'9", but his wingspan is 7'2", so he's long. He's really skilled. He's got great hands. He's a very good three-point shooter, and he can also score with his back to the basket. Now, there's always a transition for junior college players. It takes them, a semester or so just because of the rigors of Division I basketball, what they're asked to be held accountable for on both ends of the floor. So, we're hoping this summer to start the transition with him. But again, we like his upside in terms of his offensive ability.
I guess final thing for you, somebody said, what returning player is poised to make the biggest leap on the team? And I kind of said, you guys can get whoever you want in the portal, but if you don't get Carmichael and Aarons and all these guys in Bunn and these, I don't know if NATO's been announced, whatever's going on there, but just if those guys don't take big leaps, it's not really going to matter who you get. What is your take on? Yeah. You guys seem pretty high on the returning group. What do you meant? Julian, I didn't mention him, but just what's your take on the returners and how much of a jump they can make?
Yeah, history and numbers have shown since this thing got crazy that retention is a huge part of success. And if you have a high percentage of retention, it leads to program success. And so, you mentioned a lot of names there in terms of returners, but one guy that sticks out to me that I see making a huge jump next year is Spencer Aarons. He showed flashes this year of his offensive ability, but with increased playing time on a night-to-night basis, man, I think the sky's the limit for that kid. He's an attack mode type player. He's very aggressive offensively, and he can really score it both from range and he can put it on the floor. And so, he's a matchup problem for four men. He can also play some three. And so I think he's a guy that's poised to make a big jump. The only reason I don't say Julian is because he's been here for a couple years.
Sure.
Peanut's been here for a couple years. but I think Spencer can make a huge jump.
I do think Julian's a guy people are kind of sleeping on, and they forgot about him last year. But you guys are expecting him to be a key piece.
Absolutely. You look back his freshman year, and we don't beat South Dakota State in the Cayman Islands without Julian's shooting. He played really well against Clemson here. He had some big nights. They were just sporadic because any freshman kind of goes through, and he was learning the defensive end of the floor. And then we had a lot of hopes for Julian last year, and then some things happened that on the personal side, and so we think Julian's on the other end of that and poised for a great year.
So a couple spots left. Is this something that's, not to get too specific, but is this something you guys are hoping to wrap up here in the very near future? Is it something that could drag out? And also we see a Twitter post about a guy talked to these 6 schools or whatever, and people kind of think, oh, those are the 2 guys they're talking to. What is happening in that's not known? And I guess what is kind of a timetable where you guys would like to get your roster set?
We have no timetable. That's the one thing I think you have to go into this thing open-minded. Hey, it could end tomorrow, or it could go on 2 more weeks. There's things that are constantly happening in terms of not only the kids you're recruiting, but kids that are being recruited by other schools that not necessarily being recruited by you right now, but could, end up on your radar. So we're constantly evaluating what this person means to our roster if we go this route, what this kid means to our roster if we go that route. And it's impossible to wrap your arms around. You just try to go day by day, talk to as many agents as you can, have as many Zoom calls with kids as you can, get a feel for who they are, what they're looking for. And, when it's done, it's done. It's hard to put a period on it.
And I keep saying one more question. I apologize. But the 5-and-5 rule, if that goes, are you guys at all having to either save money or think about that? Or if guys become available in June or July that you weren't expecting, or if that gets put, it sounds like there was more talk this morning. They might try to push that through and grandfather in these outgoing seniors.
Yeah. We're not really basing a lot on that right now just because it's so unpredictable. We thought it was going to pass 2 years ago, and then they tabled it. So it comes up and goes off the kind of the, I don't know when they look at it, how they decide what they're going to look at, but it's been something that's been rumored for about 4 years now, and there hasn't really been any progress. So we're just kind of advancing as though that's not going to be part of it. And if it comes to play, we'll deal with it at that point.
Well, I appreciate your time, Tim. A lot of great comments and stuff. I went over the time I told you would, so I apologize, but thanks for coming on, and good luck finishing up these last couple roster spots, and look forward to catching up with you again soon.
Yeah, you bet. Exciting times.
Appreciate it, Tim. Tim Duryea, nice enough to join us. Appreciate him. Hey, I want to thank a couple more great sponsors here at Bronco Nation News, and that'll be start with Jackson's, our friends at Jackson's Banana Ball. You can get a couple. Thank you, Jordan. Appreciate it. Couple of chances. Banana Ball. Got to buy 2 body armor products. Buy one, get one for $1, and you could be going to see Banana Ball either in Eugene, Oregon, or Boise, Idaho. 2 body armor products and using your Let's Go Rewards app, and that is from our friends at Jackson's. A little more details on Jackson's and what we're doing for the postgame show coming up in a minute. Hey, Taco Bell, TacoBellWorks.com, SON Management Group, the Nicolason family. Appreciate them as well. TacoBellWorks.com. Whether it's those breakfast quesadillas, the breakfast hash browns, the crispy chicken cantina tacos, all the great options at Taco Bell. Visit the Treasure Valley Taco Bell location today. Hey, a limited piece of Blue Turf history. You can own the customizable jacket, the new jacket, like a Letterman's varsity jacket there, fully customizable. You can get your name, whatever you want to on there. The Blue and Orange Store has those online, theblueandorangestore.com. They announced some more things this morning, some collectibles and things. So the lot of celebrations and things planned for the 40th anniversary of the Blue Turf. And so you can get those jackets right now at the Blue and Orange Store online, theblueandorangestore.com. And Matt Bauscher, Bauscher Real Estate, #1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley is Matt Bauscher and Bauscher Real Estate. Looking to buy or sell a home, folks. Nobody better than Matt Bauscher and Bauscher Real Estate. All right, we come back live here. We have traded one star for another. Chris Van Sickle out at football practice today. We're getting ready for the spring game on Saturday. Good stuff from Tim Duryea there, by the way. Appreciate Tim for being honest and appreciate him for all. Someone's asking about the clip of Terrius Favors. I've got it right here. Where did you see that, Sky? That would be on my Twitter account, but you also saw it here on the show. So we'll play it again for you. Here's Terrius Favors.
That's a lot of physicality for
Now,
spring.
just to be completely honest, here it is. Well, let's play it again. We'll play it again with the sound all the way up. Now, I got to be completely honest here, Chris. He ran over Taj Crutchfield.
Yeah.
And I was watching practice. I posted that tweet, and about 5 minutes later, nice gentleman walks over and says, "Hey, I watch you every day. Appreciate you." I said, "Oh, thank you." I said, "What's your name?" He said, "I'm Mr. Crutchfield."
Oh no. Oh dear.
And I said, "We had a great talk," and I wasn't sure how to bring it up to him. And I said, I feel really bad now, but I said, I didn't name him in the tweet, but I said, I did just post that video of Terrius, there with Taj. And
yeah.
he kind of laughed and said, "Hey man, it's part of it." It was just, of all the parents I could have met, it was the guy that I'm showing that his kid just got lit up at practice. But
hey,
funny thing is, later on at the very end, the last route, they gave both guys a chance, and I have the clip. I don't have it in here. A chance to defend themselves, but Terrius Favors went on the defensive side.
Okay.
Taj Crutchfield got his chance on the offensive side, and Terrius Favors made the tackle. So it might have been 0 for 2 for Mr. Crutchfield, but I didn't post that one.
No.
But they're doing that. It's kind of a special team. You're seeing guys on defense and offense switching sides, carrying the ball. It's kind of a one-on-one tackling drill, but also a special teams drill. Stacey Collins is the one right there in the front. But Terrius Favors, a guy that has been, I think, got off to a little bit of a slow start, but has started to come on and do some things. But I said it earlier, Chris, another full padded practice. We're 2 days from the spring game. I mean, they do have another practice tomorrow that's kind of like a walkthrough, but typically middle, 2 days from the spring game, you're just touching things up. Your work's already done, and they're out there with the double-sided, live again, 2 sets of live reps going on. I know we keep talking about it, and I started the show with it, but it really is noticeable, the intensity they're playing with here in practice.
Intensity, physicality. I was just in there, and it's high intensity. The coaches are making their voices heard for sure. I'll say Coach Chenander definitely made his voice heard there while I was there. But yeah, the physicality has been super impressive. And I got to say, when I was just in there, the tight ends were having a day. So
tight ends were having a day.
I'll just say that. I don't want to say too much.
All right. Well, I'm going to, while we were talking, I'm trying to put in the I can't pronounce his last name. The sophomore linebacker
Manu Tuatoe, I want to say something like that.
Right. So
Number 55.
He had the other during this tackling drill. He had the other kind of how do I say the notable clip or play here. They were doing this drill, and now I'm screwing this up here. They were doing this drill, and he actually had a chance to be the ball carrier.
Right.
We won't say who he abused in this clip, I guess, but
it'll speak for itself.
Let's see here. 11:04. Sorry guys, this is bad on the fly, but I'm trying. This is an Ashton Genty, a 240, 250 pound linebacker. I don't know what he is, but here was his
And I mean, that is an offensive player trying to make the play.
Here's my guy from Kansas, Harry Stewart.
Yep.
But Ashton Genty there, not bad.
I mean, could you do that?
He gets that fumble recovery or that interception. I want to see that in the game now, but
I pulled the hamstring just watching that.
He's got the celebration down there too.
Yeah, for sure. No, it's been great to see that, and the physicality is more than I've seen in my time watching practice.
All right, spring game on Saturday. I was saying this earlier. We're going to hear from Braxton Feely, by the way, in a few minutes. I taped that interview. I'm going to play that here in a few minutes. Braxton Feely getting set for the draft this weekend. But I have not actually said this, but my son Naismith his team was invited to this very prestigious baseball tournament down in Las Vegas. 12 teams, state champions from like 5, 6, 7 states. I don't know all the exact details, but it's the best 11U baseball teams, basically like west of Colorado, California, Arizona, Nevada, Utah, 12 teams at the 11U level meeting in Las Vegas this weekend for a pretty best of the West. You have to get invited to this tournament. It's a pretty big deal. And so with the spring game getting pushed back 2 weeks and the difference in the schedule, I didn't think there would be a conflict, but the spring game is on Saturday and my son's baseball tournament is also this weekend. So I will be, maybe for the first time in like my 13 years here, missing the spring game. It is what it is. I would say that the 14 practices we've watched pretty much every second of, or probably actually telling you more. The spring game's kind of more for the fans. I am very sad and disappointed to miss it, and I apologize for that. But when you do not see me on any of the shows or providing any coverage on Saturday, that is why. I will be leaving this evening and flying to Las Vegas. 8 a.m. tomorrow is the first game for my son, and we'll be out there playing baseball all weekend with my son. So I will not be at the spring game. It does pain me. I don't like missing it, but I've got the reason I feel pretty good about missing it is I've got a great team, including Chris here, including Nathan, and Prater and Johnny that are going to take things. We have a pretty good plan in place. You are going to be on the field, getting highlights, reporting all kinds of stuff from the field during the spring game for BNN. Nathan is going to be up in the press box, providing information, stuff in the press box during the spring game. So we will have the press box and the field both covered. You will both have stories with your thoughts, observations, things after the spring game, and then maybe a little video before, maybe a video after. We'll see. But the Jackson's post-game show is going to be hosted at the James. It'll be about 30 to 45 minutes after the game. We are going to finish up interviews and things, and we have some contractual obligations with letting KTIK get off the air. But Johnny and Prater in the ball game, they are not doing a KTIK post-game, so they are going to host on BNN. So the Jackson's post-game show will be John Mallory and Mike Prater in the ball game, live on Bronco Nation News about 30 to 45 minutes after the game ends. So after the spring game, whether you're going as a fan, whether you're going to be somewhere else watching, make sure to tune into Bronco Nation News 30 to 45 minutes after the spring game ends over at the James. Kanan's going to have it all set up. We got all hands on deck, and we'll have a hour or so post-game show with Prater and Johnny, and maybe some other special guests. If we can get a player over there, we'll see. We'll try to get some of Spencer Danielson's comments now that I'm supplying Chris with a brand new BNN iPad. We hopefully will be able to quickly get the Spencer Danielson and post-game press conferences into the system with Kanan, so we can play those on the post-game show. So if you're going to the spring game, we're going to have pre-game coverage. They'll be tweeting videos on the field, tweeting stuff from the BNN account, from his account. So make sure you're following Chris. Is it Chris V208?
Yes.
On Twitter, but definitely the BNN Twitter account. I'll be trying to retweet some stuff in between games or when I get a little bit of free time. But Nathan, Chris, pre-game, during the game, post-game highlights, interviews, who's doing good, post-game interviews, all that. We'll get those on the BNN YouTube channel as well. And then a full Jackson's post-game show with Johnny, Prater, and who knows, coming up about 45 minutes after the spring game ends. So that is the plan for Saturday. With that said, Chris, you'll be on the field for the spring game. What are you, and again, this for us, we've watched almost every practice. Fans are going to get their first look at some of these guys. So maybe not what are you looking for, but what do you think fans should be looking for, or where are some areas, there are some players that they, should have their attention on? What would be kind of your primer for folks going to the spring game on Saturday?
I think fans are going to be impressed by the defensive backs. I know Spencer Danielson spoke on that the other day in the press conference. Some of these new additions they've been adding, Jericho Washington, the cornerback out of Kennesaw State, and Roman Tillman, a safety who might play that little nickel position a little bit more. We'll see. They've both stood out to me. That entire group has really stood out. Trey Tolmere, I thought, is having a really good camp at corner as well. And then Jaden Mickey has really stepped up as well. So I'm really looking forward to the defensive backs showing out. But, there are some young players that have stood out to me. A name that's really kind of come on as of the last couple of practices is tight end Keave Brown. He's a big kid, came in highly regarded. Out of California. His stepmother's Ronda Rousey.
I think you're required to say that every time.
Every time, I think. He's really making some plays out there. He's always on the hip of Matt Wagner, just picking his brain, and that's always impressed me. And then the defensive back, Madden Scioli, a late addition to the class, was a UCLA commitment. Comes in and he's making a lot of plays. I'm not going to say he's going to start, but I think he's going to make an impact, maybe more on special teams. But he's really made a lot of plays.
NFL draft tonight.
Yep.
Going to hear from Braxton Feely in a minute, but Nobody tonight going, obviously, probably nobody tomorrow. Hopefully Cage Casey can maybe sneak into that third round. But what are you thinking about in terms of whether it's Zion or Matt Lauder, who we talked to yesterday, or any of these other guys as Pearson Carmichael walks behind us in for a workout, it looks like. But what's your just thoughts on Boise State and the draft and what could happen the next couple days, whether it's draft or free agent or whatnot?
Yeah, I'm excited to see what happens with Braxton Feeley. I know you're going to have an interview with him. His pro day, that bench press performance was impressive. And that definitely got the attention of some NFL scouts. I think he could sneak in there 6th, 7th round. And then I'm really hoping Matt Lauder finds a good situation. He's not the biggest tight end, but if he was used correctly, I think he could really make an impact in the NFL.
Oh, I'm excited to hear all of those guys. Chris, thank you for stopping by. Always appreciate that.
Absolutely.
And let's hear from Braxton Feeley. Recorded this interview earlier. NFL draft starts tonight. Here's Braxton Feeley's thoughts on it. We'll be back in a few here on Bronco Nation News. And obviously Saturday things finish up, and guy hoping to hear his name called at some point this weekend. Nice enough to join us for a few minutes here. Former Boise State defensive tackle Braxton Feeley. Braxton, appreciate you. I know you're working out, doing a lot of things, getting ready, but got to be nervous times for you. But appreciate you finding a few minutes for us. How's it going?
Good. I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me. But it's been a fun process for sure. Yeah.
What is the emotions like right now? Next couple of days, hoping to hear your name called or get a phone call or whatever. Just what has it kind of sunk in yet for you that we're here?
It has. It's getting more realistic as we say goodbyes. We're in the middle of moving. The draft's about to start here tonight, and hopefully this weekend I do get a phone call. But it's exciting. It's nerve-wracking, but all the emotions are flowing.
I mean, just in terms of your whole football career, man, you dreamed about this. You played Pee Wee football, whatever, growing up, high school, to get to this point. Like, just what is kind of, I know you said it hasn't maybe hit you totally yet, but what is kind of, when you just think back to your full football journey and now here you are a couple of days from living out this dream, what does kind of come to mind?
Just all the hard work. Like looking back at it, you look at, growing up playing football, then going to high school playing football, even in college, there was a ton of hard work that went into everything. And it's all finally paying off. So I just think for me, just realizing, you've worked your hardest your whole life and it's finally paying off. So you just got to enjoy it and soak it all in.
Was there a moment where it kind of hit you or clicked for you that you thought something like this could even be remotely possible? I mean, everyone dreams of this growing up, like I said, but was there someone that told you something, or a game or a season, or just somehow where you realized, like, I may have a chance to get paid to do this someday?
Yeah. My sophomore year, the middle of my sophomore year, Coach Chance kind of pulled me aside, said, if you do the right things the right way and work hard enough, you will have a chance of going to the NFL, but that's only up to you. It's not up to anybody else. No one can motivate you. You got to do it yourself. So that's really when it started to kick in for me and when I started to take things serious.
Braxton Feeley, our guest here on Bronco Nation News, getting set for the NFL draft next couple of days. And as I said, hoping to hear his name called, get a phone call. I mean, let's go back to the pro day. I mean, we talked to you right after the pro day. Obviously, the 38 reps on the bench press, made waves all across the country. But what was it like after that? Did anything pick up in terms of hearing from teams or any visits or anything? Just what in the time since the pro day? It's been right about a month now. How did that pro day workout change things for you, if it did at all?
It changed a lot. A lot of teams were interested in me. I've gotten a couple of phone calls, a couple of meetings, but no visits. But it's been great. I've been very blessed with how the workout went. It's been good to talk to teams and kind of see how I could fit in their program and how the NFL kind of plays out. But it's been fun so far.
What are those kind of conversations like in terms of what folks like about your game or how they do see you potentially fitting in with them?
It's a lot. We talk ball, we talk things that I've done well, things that I can work on, and how they would help me work on those things. But they like how I'm explosive. That's, thanks to Coach D and Coach Chans, the way they coached me, and, it's all paid off.
I know you kind of brought it up yourself, and then we were talking a little bit after the pro day about, being a little undersized. And I think Boise State listed you at 6'1", 296 this last year. For you, is that part of the conversations? Are you having to sell yourself? Does the film speak for itself? Did the, bench press number push that worry past anybody, or how have you tried to overcome or tell teams that obviously, you're still a heck of a player despite maybe being a little smaller than some?
Yeah, my film speaks for itself. Even though I'm, undersized, the way I play it complements some styles that teams have in the NFL currently. And then I think Pro Day just was a cherry on top, prove that I am strong enough to hang with the guys in the NFL, and I'm quick enough, and it all worked out. And I'm glad it happened.
Are you? How badly are you a guy that just needs a shot, man? If somebody says, "Hey, come over," we'll sign you or we'll draft you, or whatever, just to get a foot in the door, however way possible. Are you the kind of guy, your mental makeup and stuff, and you believe in yourself, obviously, and what you can do, that if a team just, says we'll give you a chance, that you can kind of do the rest? I mean, are you that guy, and why?
Yeah, I mean, if the team gives me a chance, that's all I need. That's how it is in the NFL. You just need one team to believe in you, and if they do, then you're going to give them your all. That's how I believe I work. If I do get a chance, I'm gonna give it my best. I'm gonna try to be the people around me, but also get better and make them better as well.
What would a NFL team get in Braxton Feeley if someone says, "Why should we sign you or draft you?" I mean, what are you telling them?
You're getting a relentless worker, a guy that's going to put the team first before himself, someone that's just going to compete at an elite level.
Now, in terms of the NFL and how you said some teams you might be a better fit than others, how much research have you kind of done? How are you? Does your agent or you kind of have a list of possible teams that you're hoping take you or focusing on, or what's kind of this process been like for you, kind of learning who's interested, who to pay attention to this weekend, and how's that kind of gone?
It's been good. It's a lot. It's very stressful. You got to look at, the teams, their roster count, agency spots, like free agent spots, the signing spots, who you're competing with, stuff like that. And then you also have to take into account, like you said, style of play and all that. But it's been a lot. We've been doing a good job of, my agent's been great. He's been, dialing those things down, especially within these past couple of days with the league or the NFL the draft starting tonight. But yeah, I mean, it's been a ride for sure, but it's worth it.
Now, we had your former teammate Matt Lauder on yesterday. I've been catching up with some of you guys, just as this week gets closer here. And he told us, hey, the Saints, the Rams, the Ravens, he gave us a couple teams that he felt he'd been talking to more or confident with, or fans can maybe follow some of those teams and hope they don't draft the tight end, or whatever. But what is there a couple teams maybe if fans are trying to hope you can hear your name called or follow along that you would think you've been talking to more than others? Or
Yes, there's a couple. The Browns, the 49ers, the Broncos. There's a couple other teams, but those are probably the teams that I've talked to the most.
And how confident? I mean, I know nothing's 100%. I'm sure everyone's a little nervous until you actually get that call, whatever. But I mean, are you feeling pretty good about, at least getting into some, whether it's free agency or a tryout camp or something? I mean, have you at least heard enough to say that you're going to get some sort? You feel pretty good saying you're going to get some sort of shot here?
Yes, I've heard a good amount, but God's got a plan. I just got to keep walking it. No matter what he has in store for me, I just got to give him my best. And if I do get a call, great. If I go free agent, that's great as well. It's an opportunity for me to get better and compete.
Now, I know you'd love to hear your name the next 2 days, but we're probably looking at Saturday if we're being realistic here, in terms of when that might come or one way or the other. What are I've heard guys go play golf, or they go, on a hike and put their phone away for a couple hours, or do you have any plans yet for Saturday? I know you said you're moving, but I mean, anything to take your mind off of this? Or are you going to be glued to the TV all day and watching all the picks and stuff?
No, I won't be glued. There's a couple teammates from high school and from college that I'll be watching, supporting, obviously. But I feel like for myself, just to keep my mind clear, I won't be watching TV. I'll obviously watch Saturday. But just hanging out with the fam, playing pickleball. I'm a big pickleballer, so we'll be playing that in the next couple of days.
Now, you said you're moving. Shouldn't you wait to find out where you're moving to on Saturday here, or what?
No, we're moving to Utah.
Okay.
We're going to store our stuff there. My wife's going to stay there for the summer while I go to the team, hopefully. But yeah.
Braxton Feeley, our guest for a couple more minutes here on BNN. And you obviously had the unique time at Boise State where you put up some big numbers, then you thought about leaving, you decided to come back. I mean, and here you are with the finishing, and wherever you go, you're going to be the Boise State, is going to be what it is that people are talking about and saying. I mean, how do you kind of just look at your time and your what you're going to take away from this place. And obviously the fans on here are rooting for you and going to be following you. But just the fact that it worked out that you stayed, and just what is this? We all know about Coach D at the wedding and all that. But I mean, just your connection with this program and this city that wherever you go is obviously going to last a long time. Maybe you could touch on that.
Yeah, no, we were saying goodbye to a couple of people yesterday, and it was kind of sad. Like, this is my second home. This is home for us. Boise's been, part of my life for the past 4 years, where I feel like I've grown a ton. I'm thankful for the coaches and the fans and all my teammates and players and everything. But it's been amazing. I mean, Boise's one of the best cities in the nation, and I mean, just keep doing your guys' thing. You guys are doing awesome.
How different are you as a person, player, just the whole deal from like maybe the first time you stepped on campus to the last time you're leaving here?
I've changed a ton. When I first got on campus, I was a little scrawny guy. Obviously, I'm a lot bigger now, but I was quiet. I was more to myself. But as the years have gone by, I've grown a ton. Made a ton of relationships that will, go on in the future, and I'm excited.
Well, so you just it's kind of the waiting game, right? You just kind of wait and see what happens. Man, it's got to be a exciting feeling for you. I guess I'll kind of finish it off like we started, but I mean, just whenever that call does come or that draft comes or whatever, are you an emotional guy? I mean, what is that? Have you thought about what that moment, in your life-changing moment could be like for you?
Yeah. I mean, I'll probably start crying. You never know. I do get pretty emotional just because there's so much support around me that they've, poured into me. And I feel like I owe it to everyone around me to make it to that next level. And, that's something that I'll cherish forever. If that call happens, even if it doesn't, I'll still cherish it. It's a chance at a dream.
What would it mean to you? I mean, we obviously see the Ashton Genties of the world that are up there on stage with Roger Goodell and go back to Ryan Clady and the whole list, Leighton Vander Esch and the list they've had there. But they've had a number of guys either be late round picks, the Khalil Shakirs of the world, the John Bates, who all these guys. And then they've had the guys as well that just maybe take the path of, non-drafted free agent, whatever, and work their way onto a roster. We see Brett Rippon still on practice squads and doing this stuff all these years. I mean, whatever way it is, whatever spot it is, just to get in the NFL and to rep that Boise State brand. I mean, what would it mean to you, I guess, just for your family and for you and everything, just to make this thing happen and be able to stick?
It would mean the world. It's a dream everyone dreams of as they're a kid. And I'm, finally getting the chance to live that dream. And I couldn't have done it by myself. I'm grateful for all the people around me who have supported me. And without them, I couldn't have done it. Whether it be my parents, my wife, players, Bronco Nation, every little thing, every little person couldn't have done it without you guys.
Well, I think I saw a post from my friend Matt Bauscher. He was one of the guys I think you might have said bye to, his family. He's a sponsor of ours and a friend of mine. And yeah, that has to be crazy, man. You just made the round and saw friends and stuff. But I know maybe you're technically moving, right? But you're still going to be following the team and staying in touch with a lot of these people. You're not, you're maybe physically leaving, but you're not really leaving, right?
Yeah, for sure. I'm going to keep following the team, wishing those guys the best of luck this year. Go kill it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate it, man. Best of luck, as I said. Hopefully it all works out well for this weekend and we can stay in touch, maybe catch up with you again soon and follow this journey with you. And best of luck with the move and everything. Maybe that's going to be more stressful for you than Saturday. Just making sure you get, I know how that goes, but best of luck with everything to you and your family and hope it goes well. And hopefully we can catch up with you again soon, man.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
There he is, Braxton Feeley. Appreciate him. He could not do it live, so we recorded the interview there, but we appreciate Braxton Feeley for his time and wishing him the best of luck coming up in the NFL draft, which starts tonight with round 1. Again, got my hat on there. Pretty sweet hat. Was it pretty cool experience, they said at the beginning of the show, to be at Lambeau Field and see Ashton Genty and get a chance to interview him and seeing some of the videos from Pittsburgh and stuff. Now I kind of know because I was there last year and saw it, and been lucky enough to cover 2 NFL drafts, covered Leighton Vander Esch also being a first-round pick with the Dallas Cowboys down in 2018. So I've been in 2 drafts from the football side, 1 NBA draft when Chandler Hutchison was a first-round pick. Got to go to the Barclays Center in Brooklyn for that. So pretty cool experiences, and no Boise State player will go tonight, but pay attention to, when those offensive linemen start coming off, when those defensive linemen start coming off, the tight ends, and start, rooting for the Boise State guys there. And then, ideally it'll be late Friday, maybe for Cage, but if I had to guess, probably Saturday for Cage and early Saturday. And then 1.5 was the number I put up yesterday. Can another guy sneak in besides Casey? Can you get a Louder? Can you get a Feely? Can you get somebody to go over the 1.5 number for Boise State players drafted? That would certainly be awesome if you could. So again, full spring game coverage coming tomorrow. It's going to be Nathan Carroll and Johnny Mallory hosting BNN Live. I believe Chris Van Sickle might make an appearance. I'm not sure yet, but as I said, my kid will be hopefully rounding the bases after a home run or something about the time you guys have the show tomorrow. But we going down to Vegas for my kids' baseball tournament. It's a pretty big deal, and I'm proud of him. And I will never let family ever take over work or anything. And so been to pretty much every second of every practice. Hate to miss the spring game, but I've seen plenty this spring, and I know Nathan and Chris and Johnny and Prater have you covered with all the spring game coverage. So we're going to talk to Alvis Whitted, the wide receivers coach, here in a little bit, a couple players as well. And we got any women's players in the portal coming? What's going on? All right, they got one yesterday on the women's side. There you go. News to come on the women's side, adding a player in the portal. So, but we're going to have a couple players, Coach Whitted talking here momentarily. We'll get that on the Bronco Nation News YouTube channel this afternoon. And I know Nathan has a spring game preview coming up. I believe that's up now or will be coming up soon. So we'll have full spring game coverage at bronconationnews.com. Nathan, maybe Chris, and Johnny Mallory, Johnny Ballgame and Nathan tomorrow, 9 a.m. on Bronco Nation News Live, as I will be in Vegas. And then Saturday, Chris, Nathan will be on the field pregame, in the box, everything. And then after the game, join us at the James Kitchen and Bar for the Jacksons postgame show. Hang out on the patio with Johnny and Prater. And if you can't make it, we'll have a full live postgame show here on Bronco Nation News. Like I said, about 30 to 45 minutes after the game with Johnny and Prater hosting that. So appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for watching the show over an hour here. Thanks to Tim Duryea. Great stuff from Tim Duryea on the portal. And if you missed any of it, go back and watch it. They're still recruiting a big, and they're still recruiting a guard. Two players, and he's looking for hopefully starter caliber players, he said. So appreciate Tim Duryea for making that work and coming out for almost 20 minutes, giving us some great insight on the current situation with the basketball portal. So go check that out if you are so inclined. And thanks to Braxton Feeley, thanks to Chris Van Sickle, and thanks to the whole BNN crew for covering for me while I'm with my kid this weekend at his baseball tournament. So appreciate you guys. I'll be watching from afar. I know things are going to go great, and Chris and Nathan have you covered, and they got a big plan for Saturday to get you guys wall-to-wall coverage, all the highlights, all the post-game interviews will get on YouTube. If you want full coverage of the Boise State spring game on Saturday, Bronco Nation News is where you need to go. Pre-game, during the game, post-game, Twitter, everywhere else. We got you covered at Bronco Nation News. So enjoy the NFL draft tonight. Johnny and Nathan Carroll will see you at 9 a.m. tomorrow. I think our resident scout, Adam Engroff, may make an appearance on tomorrow's show as well to preview the weekend. But appreciate you guys. We'll get those videos posted to the YouTube channel and to the message boards here this afternoon. And 9 a.m. tomorrow, we'll see you. And obviously a big day on Saturday. We'll see you there as well. Have a great day, everybody. Talk to you later. Bronco Nation News Live, online. Before I go, a couple of great sponsors I need to thank real quick. Hey, Signature Roofing online at mysignatureroofing.com. Whether it's a re-roof, a repair, an estimate, or an inspection, check out mysignatureroofing.com. Again, you can leave a voicemail at speakpipe.com/BNN, but all your roofing needs, check out Signature Roofing, mysignatureroofing.com. Hey, if you need a fence, how about Element Fencing? 25 plus years, Brady and his staff ready to help folks out that build that perfect fencing project from the ground up. Element Fencing online, elementfencing.com. Whether it's decks, pergolas, cedar, wrought iron, vinyl, they can do it all. Element Fencing online, elementfencing.com. Ridley's Family Markets, shopridleys.com. Shopridleys.com, locations across the state of Idaho or surrounding states as well. And we appreciate Ridley's Family Markets. They sell Sun Cruisers there, so you can get some Sun Cruisers at Ridley's Family Markets. And, of course, rowpaint.com, Andy Rowe and Company. Whether it's interior, exterior painting, those concrete coatings, all your painting needs, make sure you hit up rowpaint.com. We appreciate Andy Rowe and Company for that. Sun Cruiser, got some drop-off products here. I just gave Chris Van Sickle an 8-pack to take with him for his wife. So don't ask for a raise, Chris. You got some Sun Cruisers. But always a good time when you get the free samples of Sun Cruiser dropped off for the month. So appreciate Claire for meeting me here for that. Go get a Sun Cruiser this weekend while you're pre-gaming for the spring game, while you're watching the draft. Recommend the blueberry lemonade and all the great flavors of Sun Cruiser. And as well, again, online. Lithia Ford of Boise, lithiafordboise.com is their website online to check out all the new pre-owned vehicles. We would not have Bronco Nation News. You would not be watching an hour and 5-minute free show here on YouTube right outside of Boise State football practice, if not for Jim Sturk and Lithia Ford of Boise. So appreciate Jim, appreciate Lithia Ford, appreciate all of you. Enjoy the rest of your day. Full coverage coming. Go subscribe. 50% off at bronconationnews.com. And 9 a.m. tomorrow. Hope you join us. And obviously a big day on Saturday. Have a good one. Bronco Nation News online, bronconationnews.com.